start off with prayer for those who would like to participate, and then the Pledge of Allegiance. For those who would like to participate, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we ask you to govern us tonight accordingly to what we need to do. We ask that you put safe heads of protection around all of our workers and all of our citizens in this city. Father, we know that you're able, and we know that you can do what no one else can do. Give us a clear mind for thoughts and understanding this evening as we make decisions that may or may not affect the city. These things we ask in the mighty name of Jesus. And they all say, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Present.
Councilmember Seals.
Present.
Councilmember Balls.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Ostash.
Present.
Councilmember Braddock.
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Present.
Councilmember Hammond.
Present.
And Mayor Moore.
Present.
We have all members present.
I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. This is your city council meeting. I ask the audience remain from clapping, booing, and any obnoxious behavior. And basically, I need all of us on the stage or the platform to please silence your phones and silence your iPads. Audience, I'm asking you to do the same thing. It's very disruptive when the phone goes off and somebody's speaking. Madam Clerk, do we have any announcements?
Yes, Mayor, we have one. The 5th annual Team Up to Clean Up event is Saturday, May 10th from 9 a.m. to noon. Those wishing to help may visit www.saginaw-mi.com/cleanup to register by May 5th. Kickoff will be in front of the Public Works Building at 9, and volunteers will return there at noon for the wrap-up and lunch. We have a proclamation this evening. It's declaring April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day.
And that will be read by Councilwoman Hammond.
Hello. Do we have anybody to accept this proclamation? Okay, feel free to approach, so you're just kind of in the camera when we're reading it off. Thank you. I will read this proclamation to you and to our audience today. Whereas, in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska and is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, and for our fires. Trees also increase property values, enhance the economic viability of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. In 2024, the city of Saginaw Streets section of the right-of-way division also pruned 557 trees and removed 256 trees. Therefore, be it resolved, I, Brenda Moore, Mayor of the City of Saginaw, do hereby proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Saginaw. And furthermore, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Saginaw to be affixed this 21st day of April in the year of our Lord 2025.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Special thank you from the green team for your participation.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Really appreciate you.
No problem.
You can say something. You know what? I can tell you a newbie. Say something.
I was not the first pick to show up here today.
Hey,
Take it easy.
you're here.
I am here. And the main point that I was told to make certain to you three right there, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, and Councilman Olstach, was just thank you for your continued participation in some of our little ceremonies that we do, especially that door contest this last time. I really didn't have anything prepared. I look forward to seeing you at the cleanup. I look forward to your prayer there. We love seeing you at those events. That's not the green team so much, but we're a huge advocate for that program, so I look forward to seeing you and hopefully more of you there. But yeah, just thank you on behalf of the green team for this. It's a great honor.
Okay.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, that takes us to public input.
The speakers will be called to the podium. You have 3 minutes. There's a timing clock to time you. You are to state what you need to say, and we need to get it all in within 3 minutes. Again, I'm asking that the audience don't clap, boo, or any obnoxious behavior. Madam Clerk.
The first speaker is Dawn Maturin. How about Tammy Jackson? Let's see, Tammy. On to Candace Thomas.
Okay, so in the absence of the president of the Saginaw Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, I bring greetings to you, city manager, council members, and representatives of our city's leadership. Since our founding in 1913, Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated has been on the front lines fighting for the voiceless, oppressed, marginalized, and overlooked. Over a century ago, our 22 founders participated in the 1913 Women's Suffrage March, and although they were spat on and verbal aggressions perpetrated against those 22 college-age women, they remained resilient in their effort to advocate for voting rights for women. I am proud to say, in that same spirit of fortitude, which is alive and well within Saginaw, we have served for over 50 years in this community. Through our social action initiatives, we have worked to educate, engage, and empower our members and this community in meaningful ways, including housing policies, which is just one example. Across the nation, housing advocates have launched a campaign to bring awareness to National Fair Housing Month, which is why members of my organization and our partner are here today. April commemorates the passage of the Fair Housing Act of 1968 to celebrate ongoing efforts to eliminate housing discrimination and promote equal access to housing. Yet, there is still a demographic of citizens who have been and continue to be legally discriminated against across the nation and right here in Saginaw. This group of citizens that I reference are formerly incarcerated men and women. Councilwoman Lamar Sylvia, you concerningly asked a question during our chapter's town hall meeting back in 2024. What do ex-offenders do when they are discriminated against? After temporary housing has been exhausted, where do they go? For over a year, the Social Action Committee of the Saginaw Alumni Chapter has also pondered that question. The purpose for my organization's presence here tonight is to highlight Fair Housing Month, educate the community on the advocacy work that our chapter has done as it pertains to housing justice, and to encourage this legislative body to also consider Councilwoman's question as we seek to find solutions to promote inclusive housing policies for all of Saginaw citizens. My name is Candace Thomas. I am the chair of the Social Action Committee of the Saginaw Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. And I thank you for lending me your ears, your heart, and your mind for now. There's more to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Arshan Baldwin.
Good evening. My name is Arshan Baldwin. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Saginaw Alumni Chapter. And today I will share a testimony as it relates to what our chair, Candace, just mentioned. So I recently opened my home to my cousin following his release from incarceration. Despite his sincere efforts to rebuild his life, he faced significant challenges securing consistent employment, which directly affected his ability to obtain stable housing. Although he had served his sentence and was committed to positive change, his criminal history made him ineligible for subsidized housing programs. For 8 months, my cousin resided with me while working diligently to establish independence. During this time, he maintained 2 jobs simultaneously to build financial stability. He is also pursuing his bachelor's degree, which he is close to completing, and he volunteers weekly at his local church, which demonstrates his commitment to community engagement. This period of stability provided him the foundation needed to eventually secure his own housing. Recently, he moved into his new home in the city, a significant milestone in his journey toward full reintegration into society. Throughout his experience, I witnessed firsthand how temporary housing support can create the stability necessary for returning citizens to demonstrate their potential. My cousin's determination, coupled with temporary housing security, enabled him to overcome initial barriers and establish the independence he now enjoys. This experience has deepened my understanding of the challenges returning citizens face and the importance of support systems during the critical reentry period. My cousin's success story demonstrates that with appropriate support, individuals can successfully transition back into society and lead productive lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Janae Beatty.
Good afternoon. Council members, all protocol observed. My name is Janae Beatty, and I am also a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Saginaw Alumni Chapter. You've heard a testimony and why we do the work that we do in our community. I wanted to share with you that we celebrate this month National Fair Housing Month and some of the highlights of programs that we have done as a chapter. Specifically in 2024, we did a social action town hall to illustrate how we continue to educate, engage, and empower the citizens of Saginaw community. And we do not ever do any of this without fighting for social justice for all. On April 27, 2024, we hosted our town hall entitled Making the Shift, Opening the Door to Reentry, Closing the Door to Recidivism. The focus of this town hall was twofold. So we wanted to educate citizens about the Michigan House Bill 4878, and that's also known as the Michigan Fair Chance Access to Housing Act. And that bill sought to prevent landlords from using background checks to deny housing to justice-impacted individuals. We also wanted to empower citizens to use civic engagement tools to advocate for policies for themselves. We had over 80 community members attending this event last year. And it also included people like State Representative Amos O'Neill, the NAACP, Nation Outside, the Mexican American Council, Legal Services of Eastern Michigan, League of Women Voters, the Saginaw chapter, Saginaw Public Defender's Office, Saginaw County Community Mental Health, and the Michigan Department of Corrections. For us, the most exciting fact to note is that 129 advocacy letters were signed and mailed to legislators who either sponsored that bill or sat on the subcommittee reviewing the Fair Chance Act Access to Housing Bill. This is a testament to that Saginaw community members recognize the need to advocate for those with prior convictions and to have fair housing opportunities for all citizens, the same way everyone without a conviction have it. As members of the Social Action Committee of Saginaw Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we hope that the council also recognizes this need to eliminate barriers to securing housing for those with prior convictions and also seek to expand such opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tony Gant.
Excuse me. Good evening, Mayor Moore, Pro Tem Garcia, and honorable members of the council. Happy Monday and happy Fair Housing Month, right? I'm honored to be standing here to talk to you all because my ancestors are the same people that were discriminated against back in the 60s, and here I am in 2025 to talk about similar discrimination. Not only is April Fair Housing Month, it's Second Chance Month, right? So that's celebrated nationally, right? And so, as the clerk said, my name is Tony Gant, and I'm a community organizer and advocate that works around the state of Michigan to address the barriers that people with criminal histories face. The reason I work on issues like this is because I was incarcerated myself for 20 years, from 1995 to 2015. So next month will be 10 years since I've been out of the prison system. And since that time, I've become an author. I've started my own small business and sold it. I have an 8-year-old son, and I organize in communities all around the state, especially black communities, where I know felony convictions hit harder than other convictions. We know that people with felony convictions are 10 times more likely to be homeless than the general population. We know there are over 2 million people in the state of Michigan with convictions, right? Conviction histories can be misdemeanors, they can be felonies, and you could be denied housing simply for an arrest record, right? Because landlords have that discretion. While we were unable to get the Michigan Fair Chance Access to Housing Act passed last session, we're still working locally in different jurisdictions like Saginaw, asking jurisdictions like Saginaw to pass the Fair Chance Housing Ordinance, right? Detroit has passed it, Kalamazoo has passed it, Ann Arbor has passed it, Jackson has passed it, Flint recently passed it, Pontiac just recently passed an individualized assessment ordinance. This is a movement in the state to make sure that people with prior convictions get treated fairly. And this is the month where we should be talking about people being treated fairly. This is giving people a second chance, right? What I can tell you that if you want people to be successful in your community after their release, they need somewhere to live. And if you don't have anywhere to live, you're not going to keep that job. And if you don't have anywhere to live, you're not going to college. And if you don't have anywhere to live, you're not going to care about the community where you're at. This is a smart move to make your community safer. And I'm loving the opportunity to talk to each and every one of you later on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Denzel Small.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I normally get nervous around these times, so bear with me. The pictures that you all have, they printed out in black and white, so I'm hoping that you all can see it. But good evening to the council members. My name is Denzel Small, and I'm here on behalf of Youth Empowering Services. And I'm here on behalf of an organization dedicated to transform lives and create real opportunities for the youth here in Saginaw. We're here to present a vision, one that doesn't just talk about problems like gun violence, poverty, and lack of access, but actively builds solutions. And we're doing it by turning youth into creatives, leaders, and entrepreneurs. So if we can reflect to the packet that was handed out, empowering Saginaw's youth through creativity and innovation, funding and partnership requests for New Image, Youth Program, and Fashion Showcase, presented by Youth Empowering Services and partners. I am Denzel Small, represent Youth Empowering Services, where we turn creative kids into confident entrepreneurs building brands, breaking cycles, and transforming communities. We're currently partnered with the Bear Tracks, United Way, the Refuge Church, Loud Entertainment, Butman Fish Library, and Business Excel. So we've partnered with these organizations to basically bring creative arts to the Saginaw area. Our purpose of the request is $8,000 for 8 youth fashion designers, $500 for branding and marketing packages for 12 youth, and $125,000 for summer programs and workforce initiatives. The vision is to position Saginaw as a regional hub for youth innovation. So our programs, we're bringing videography, photography, fashion design, graphic design, AI integration, AI automation. And we're teaching these things to the youth because these are the things that the youth are interested in. If you look at their phones, everything that is attached to their phones, that's what they're interested in. So we've taken those things to create a program. So we have a fashion show that's in June. And that fashion show, we just finished a program, partnered with the Butman Fish Library. And we have created fashion designers in that program. Those fashion designers we're taking to Bay City to participate in a fashion design, in a fashion show to showcase their fashions. So they now currently have clothing brands, and we're asking for you all to invest into their clothing brand, a 10-piece collection. It will be shirts, hats, bags, shoes. It's an entire collection that they now have a brand. They are now entrepreneurs. This thing allows the household to now have another income. It allows the parents and the kids to come together to build that business, and it also brings economic growth back into the communities.
Thank you.
Our final speaker is Robert Scott.
Good evening, council members. Tonight, I want to speak candidly about a growing pattern of secrecy, unethical behavior, and broken public trust on this council. Centered around council member Carly Rose Hammond and extending to others, including council member Monique Lamar Sylvia. Let's start with Hammond. She's campaigned as a small business owner, but has never explained what her business actually is. The company, Carly Rose Consulting, was created months before she filed to run for city council. It has no website, no physical presence beyond her downtown apartment, and no public-facing record of services provided. Yet campaign finance records show it has received political payments under Michigan's weak lobbying laws by calling herself a consultant. She is not required to register as a lobbyist or disclose who is paying her, even if those clients are seeking to influence public policy. That means that someone who votes on the city budget, the ARPA allocations, and other key decisions can be secretly paid by outside interests with no public accountability. And since her apartment is listed as a business address, it's entirely possible she's claiming that as a tax deduction on her luxury unit, while using the same address to run a company with no public transparency. That's not the only red flag. Hammond is also the treasurer and founder and member of Saginaw Community Alliance for the People, or Saginaw CAP. This nonprofit has lobbied this council on issues ranging from the master plan, water affordability, and the ARPA funding. It has received at least $46,000 in outside grant funding in the last 2 years, and yet according to the IRS, Saginaw CAP has never filed its required nonprofit disclosures, putting it at risk of automatic dissolution within the next month. Meanwhile, individuals connected to Saginaw CAP have already benefited from the city's ARPA funds, including Eric Eggleston and Charles Coleman. Both were part of groups whose funding was later clawed back due to concerns about oversight. And now we learn that Eric Eggleston is facing charges along with council member Monique Lamar Sylvia for alleged voter fraud and forging petition signatures. Let me say that again. 2 sitting council members are directly linked to nonprofits or political activities that are now involved in criminal investigations. How are the people of Saginaw supposed to trust their city government is working for them? This is not just about one council member's shady consulting firm or one nonprofit that failed to file tax forms. This is a pattern, a network of insiders secretly funding outside influence and unethical behavior, all operating under the protection of legal loopholes and silence. And let's not forget the political positions being pushed. Hammond opposed the Back the Blue initiative, which aimed to support local law enforcement and public safety. While she proudly accused others of pushing dark money, she has never disclosed her own income or sources of consulting clients. She has also led the charge on the Welcoming City or Sanctuary City resolution that would put Saginaw in direct conflict with federal immigration enforcement. I hope you take this very seriously. This is a serious concern for our community. You should resign, and you should resign.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, that takes us to remarks of council.
And tonight, we will begin this conversation or this with Councilman Balls.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
I thought it would come out like that the way it was going, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have any, too many comments today, but I would like to say thank you to the sisters that's coming here and the gentlemen that come here talking to us about housing for individuals who have committed some crimes and trying to straighten their lives back out. I had a meeting today with the Come Out, Stay Out program, who we trying to do the same thing to help these guys. If you take a look at what's happening in society today and how many people have been locked up for the last 20 or 30 years, you'll find a lot of young black males have been locked up and they come back home to try to get back in society and take care of their children. As being a member of the Big Brothers and Sisters program for over 30-something years and being a big brother for over 35 years, it has come to me to know that we need the fathers back into the lives of their children. If we don't, we're going to continue to have murders, we're going to continue to have crime, we're going to see the ills of society happening because we don't have fathers at home. I've taken it upon myself to try my best to do my part, but I can only do so much. But it's my passion to work with youth today in the city of Saginaw because I know that's what God wants me to do. And I think He wants all of us to do that. The best way we can serve God is by serving the people that live here in the city and serving our fellow man. So we need to continue to get laws like this passed in the state legislature so we can get these guys back into homes and get them to work. And with the organization like HELP and the other organizations, Come Out, Stay Out, we're going to continue to push and pull until we can get legislation passed and help you ladies out and to do things we need to do to help out our citizens here in the city of Saginaw. I appreciate all the other city council people that come to the HELP meetings, you know, for your efforts and what you want to do, and you see what we're doing. I really appreciate that. I want to appreciate the mayor for getting tired of my big mouth talking about we need mentors and taking it and mentioning it to somebody else so they can get to be mentors. I appreciate that, I really do. Because we know what we need to do here in the city of Saginaw to help out our citizens. I mean, we cannot lock these people up and put them away. Our taxpayers pay for that. I mean, we got to do what we got to do if they commit a crime, but we got to make some type of leeway for them to get back in society and be productive members in society. We need them. There's plenty of them. We need these guys to be at home with their children so we can make sure that they can have productive and meaningful lives. You know, and I think that we can do this here in the city of Saginaw. We can turn this thing around. You know, we can be the incubator of what's happening to get people back into the lives of their children. You know, and I'm just saying, man, if we don't do this, it's going to be, God's going to be looking at all of us and say, what did you do? What did you do to help your brother? You know, did you pull him up or did you push him down? So I think we ought to think about that. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for not much to say. Thank you, said a mouthful, Councilman Balls. Next, we'll have Councilman Ostash.
Thanks, Mayor. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's a pretty windy day, so this is the kind of day you either lose garbage cans or you get a few more in your. Real quick, I had the opportunity to attend. I was actually invited to the Saginaw Public Schools strategic planning session, so it was a great day. A lot of people from the community were there, and I look forward to the report that's going to come out at a later date. Also, folks that have heard me speak from the podium before, that I'm a big proponent of the Michigan Reconnect program. So I just want to make sure that I mention that They're going to have a meet and greet at Delta College Tuesday, April 22nd. So that's tomorrow, from 4:30 till 6:30 p.m. Pizza, bread, snacks, and everything will be provided. But they're also going to have financial aid representatives on site, admission representatives, and also advising representatives from the Michigan Reconnect program. So please, if you're 25 or years of older, need a bachelor's degree, or you haven't obtained your associate's, this is a place for you to be tomorrow to get information. It is free college tuition. I also want to thank our public speakers for coming out tonight. I want to thank the people that came out to speak on housing and sharing the stories that you shared with us tonight. It's important for the public to hear those. I actually learned some things tonight, so thank you for coming out and talking to us. I also want to wish everybody, I hope you had a nice Easter. And Mayor, I am done.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Braddock.
Good evening, everyone. I'd just like to say I'd like to thank the efforts of the ladies who spoke and the man that spoke about housing, fair housing for our community. I think it's something that we need to address as well, as far as our young men and that's displaced in society has a ripple effect on a lot of different issues, and a lot of people are insensitive to their needs because they don't have, like the needs of like women and children. But I'll just also like to say that, Saginaw, over the past couple of weeks, I've been able to engage with a lot of different people, and it's a lot of good things going on in here, and it's a lot of people putting a lot of good effort forward on trying to make this place a better place. And so I think some of the things things that are going on, we need to highlight those things that are going good, and then those things that have efforts, we need to strengthen those things too in our community, And so there's a lot of good things going on. I had the opportunity to attend the Women of Color's Youth Explosion. It was a great turnout. It had a great speaker. Seeing Councilman Bars and Councilman Sylvia there, and so it was a great impact. The kids seemed like they had a really good time. The youth was very impactful to them as well. And so there's a lot of great things. Holden Jones having a gardening event tomorrow at 1:30, the Holden Jones Association on Johnson Street at the end there. And so there's a lot of different communities, organizations, I should say, in the community. And so we need to highlight that and be a part of it, get a part of it, do something, And so that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Wiggins.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for giving us information on the fair housing and just different things that you're involved in. I also had the opportunity to go to the Women of Colors event this Saturday, and it was touching, just to see really the ministry that was taking place there. It kind of did a holistic kind of approach to our cultural needs here in Saginaw, what we need in the community, and as far as our hearts healing, people really making a difference. And it touched my heart because so many of the youth had expressed that, they thought about not being here on this planet again. And so when you're thinking about that's your base. It's hard to think about giving back. It's hard to think about contributing. So, we have some work to do. But I was happy about that event. I'm happy to hear about the YES program. I'm happy to hear about the HELP program and everything that's going on with our fair housing. So, there are tools that are happening in this city, and it's all needed. So we need everything that the police are doing. We need everything that our pastors are doing and different community events that are happening. So I'm hopeful, and I just thank you for putting in the work.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Hammond.
Yes, thank you to all of our public speakers tonight, especially to the Delta Sigma Theta sorority who, I love it when folks go out and do their own organizing and their own work. You guys have a very esteemed organization that have been doing this work long before any of you were born. So to continue doing that work is phenomenal. I really love to see it. Having 80 folks come out and 129 advocacy letters, like, that's real. I love it. Thank you so much. Also, I know about the House bill. I would love to pass this as an ordinance locally and not have to wait for the House to pass it, or just, throw it to, the Government Operations Committee, I think it's probably currently languishing in, right? So Pontiac passed it, Lansing passed it. I will reach out, I will take you up on this, and I will look into putting in efforts to get that done at the city level, because I don't, we shouldn't have to wait for the, state legislature to do the right thing. I think we can do the right thing here in our community. Also, if anybody wants my tax returns, I'll give them. I don't really care. So feel free, man. You're good. So also, in the state lobbying law, you have to get paid at least $500 and you have to register as a lobbyist. So just some state law for everybody who may be interested. But I really appreciate folks coming out and getting the work done. I also wanted to mention I attended a Fairgrounds Neighborhood Association meeting this past couple weeks ago. And their organization, another one that has a really great history, they've been, putting in so much work and so much of their time and so much of their own effort into keeping up their neighborhood and keeping up the community around them. So I love what those folks do, and they have some very direct matriarchs in that group that have been doing a lot of incredible work for a very long time. So all of our neighborhood associations are pretty well esteemed and established in this community, and I would encourage joining one if you're not in one already. So thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Councilwoman Sylvia.
Thank you so very much, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to your city council meeting. I'd like to thank everyone that came up and spoke today to your city council. Some things that were addressed at the podium, there's going to be time later on, I'm sure, during the manager's report that it can be a little bit more explained, some things will be explained better. But one thing I will say is collaboration. Mr. Denzel, maybe we can get some more information later on this evening, because we gave $10 million to our youth programs, and I just cannot see or fathom or understand, and all of those are almost the same thing, why some of our smaller youth organizations are not and cannot, or, what's the problem? And we'll maybe talk, and I'll talk to the city manager, how some of our youth programs cannot tap into some of these existing programs that have gotten this $10 million. But anyway, we had a very good meeting. Councilman Braddock, myself, Tim, Chief Roof, some other people, in regards to crime. So we're doing things, we're coming together, we're putting our heads together. You all know I've been an advocate against the crime in Birch Park. I'm telling you, they got it going on. Not only did they put $10 million out into Birch Park with Chief Roof, our police department, and some other things, they're changing the look of Birch Park, not just the look. You're not going to be able to just come and lollygag at Birch Park anymore. You're going to have a card to get in Birch Park. You're going to have a code to go visit different people in Birch Park. They're going to have speed bumps, and a lot of this is accelerating. It's getting ready to happen very, very soon. And as I went to a meeting out there last week, a lot of the crime that happened out there, most of that crime did not happen from people that live there. So they're doing a fantastic job. They had to deal with me, so they're doing a fantastic job. And I appreciate the work. I appreciate talking to the property manager and having that conversation, and also the district manager. So look forward to beautiful things to come in Birch Park. And they've gotten the fixed, and they've gotten some of the best security out there at Birch Park right now. Thank you all very much. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Seals.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended a citywide zoning meeting on April 9th, and it was very informative. It was at our new high school. It was in the new auditorium. Last time I was at the high school, it was actually not finished. And so this time when I went back, it was actually completed. There was a big hole last time, and I went back and I was like, oh my God, the hole is closed and there's a whole auditorium there. So it was really nice to see that they have completed that side of the building. It is beautiful in there. If anyone ever been in Thompson Middle School's auditorium, it looks just like Thompson's Middle School auditorium. So my children went to Thompson, so I thought that was really cool. And it was a very informative session. The community was very adamant about how they felt about what was proposed by the city. And that was changing the current zoning ordinance to possibly qualify our city residents to build smaller size homes. And it was a very interesting conversation with the city, to hear the residents and what they felt about that. So, I think the next meeting is, I believe, tomorrow. And so, I hoped I could plan to go to that one tomorrow so I can hear the community and what they feel about that. I want to keep listening and learning about the zoning laws and to be a part of that conversation. Also on April 17th, the City Council, we actually had an informative session about our parliamentary procedures, our council rules, and our charter, city charter. Again, I feel more empowered, and I'm challenging myself to put my new knowledge to work even tonight. So I'm really excited about that. And so, and also that at the meeting, they gave out, at the citywide meeting on April 9th, they gave out a lot of cool information about what's going on in the city, beginning June and ending in August. There's a Saginaw Neighborhood Recognition Award for Best Kept Yards. And I was like, pretty cool, because my husband loves to keep our yards so nice. And so, but there's going to be 4 winners each month, and you guys, the residents, get the vote. You can go online. This is all on our city web page. And then at the end, there's going to be 1 grand prize winner. So please go online, participate in that this summer. That's going to be, sounds really cool, that we get to vote for our residents and our people in our communities and our neighborhoods. And I've seen so many great yards out already this summer. So let's participate and have a great time this summer with that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll move this way. Now we have Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Good evening, concerned citizens of the community. Thank you for all our speakers that came this evening to talk and to keep it real. To the housing, I know firsthand as well how hard it is. I worked at CAC and we would help the young gentlemen that would come out of prison to get their license or just identification card and the barriers that they had to go through just to get that. So it being that said too, tomorrow at the East Side Soup Kitchen, the Secretary of State is going down there and you can go apply and get things taken care of there, because I know sometimes we still don't have transportation, or we can just go to these, places. So they're coming down to the city, so that makes it nice. But housing has been an issue for a long time with, gentlemen getting out of prison. I know a lot of my guy friends that got out and stuff like that, and, maybe get a job, but where are they gonna live and, things like that. So, I mean, we have to be advocates for some of these people, just like our seniors, our population that sometimes falls between the cracks. If we don't do the work for them, who's gonna do it? And then they end up back where they started, and we can't allow that. We need to be an advocate, and that's the thing about myself. This past week was a wake-up call for me. I have been sick for a while, thinking it was pneumonia, found out it happened to be my heart. So I was an advocate for myself in the hospital because they were gonna release me, and I knew something was wrong. So it's my heart. Now I know I got to make lifestyle changes. I can't do a lot of good grubbing that I used to do. I got to cut back because I got to be here for my 2 grandsons that are here, and they look forward to seeing me every day. So I have to be here for them. And like I said, you have to be an advocate sometimes for yourself, because people don't listen until you keep advocating and let them know what the problem is and what needs to be taken care of, and they'll take you seriously. Also for, Mr. Smalls, I've seen your program, and when you came to speak at the ceremony where I received an award, so that was awesome. That you were there and just bringing that empowerment to the youth, because there's other solutions besides violence out there. Mr. Scott, thank you for coming to council and speaking. As, city council members, we do need to be held accountable for our actions. The citizens put us here and vote for us for a reason, and I take my job seriously. And, sometimes we have to, it's not always sunshine. There's always, pros and cons to everything. And if I'm doing something wrong, I want somebody to call me out and let me know, so that way I can fix whatever needs to be fixed. We're human too. We do make errors, but, as far as representing the city, we need to make sure that we're doing our job and being held accountable. So, that's understanding that you have concerned citizens out there, and I appreciate you for bringing that up. And also for Mr. Gant coming from Lansing, I appreciate you coming to speak and being an advocate for these men. And usually the best advocate is if you've been in those shoes. I've been to college. That experience is nothing like the experience you have personally. So thank you. God bless.
Well, I guess it's my turn. First, I'd like to thank the community. Last Sunday, we gave out 2,000 Easter baskets, and we gave out oodles and oodles of toys. I'm sick of looking at candy, and I'm sick of looking at toys. The city is undergoing transformation. I can't say it no other way. For the housing portion and the things that the Delta's brought in, I need you to understand, some of those laws we cannot change. I wish we could. We can be advocates, but we can't change the laws because they've been made in Lansing. The other piece is this: on June the 13th, 2025, from 12 to 4 o'clock, there will be another Saginaw County-wide expungement. And for a lot of ex-offenders, they start the paperwork and they stop. I need them to keep going. Keep going. There are funds available to pay for the fingerprinting and to pay for some of the stuff that will be going on. And they're gonna get your paperwork ready for that day. All you gotta do is do your court stuff. So everything will be in your hand. And let us not forget, Saginaw is not a forgiving city. Okay, let's just be 100. It's not a forgiving city when it comes to ex-felons. And so that's why you have so many people relocating to like Grand Rapids, because Grand Rapids has the housing stuff too. However, they built little apartments, so they built areas of town where you actually can have ex-offenders live, and they don't have to go through all that rigmarole. Returning back into society is not always easy, and sometimes you don't even have to be them when out society, and it's not easy. So for the community at whole, I need you to just keep lifting us up in prayer. No, we're not gonna be perfect, and we can't change the world. I wish I could. I'd be bewitched and go twinkle, 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 but it's not real. With that being said, I need for everybody to hold yourself accountable. Stop pointing fingers at me. My council members, I thank you guys so much because y'all is in the community now, and y'all give me a chance to rest. So I don't have to be at every activity because there's always a council person somewhere. So I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And Mr. Scott, I understand what you were saying, and I'm sure everybody did. But at this point, I need you to understand, we cannot remove people. They have to remove themselves. Thank you.
Mayor, that takes us to reports from the manager.
Yes, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, and at first I want to share some information that we just received this afternoon, and I'll send this to
But can we hold on a
council.
minute, because you know how you empty out the room. You know how you not.
It's only 2 people leaving. Good, that's pretty good.
I didn't want him to start, and people were steady walking, so I'm sorry.
Okay. So we have received a lot of questions about this. It's M58, the State Street project. So you've seen the signs going up, and I think we talked about it before. That project is going to start next Monday, April 28th, and the traffic shift will be May 5th. So MDOT is investing approximately $13 million to rebuild 1.1 miles of eastbound State Street from Avalon Avenue to M84, which is Bay Street in Saginaw. Work includes hot mix, asphalt rebuilding, new concrete curb, gutter, and sidewalk, signal upgrades, signs, landscaping, and pavement markings. And they're also coordinating with us, the city, to make upgrades to water and sewer mains for that project. Work will begin with tree clearing on eastbound M58 next week. A single lane closure will be placed during that work until May 2nd, and starting May 5th, eastbound State Street will be closed and detoured onto westbound Davenport Avenue, and that will be converted into a 2-way road with a temporary center turn lane. And the projected end date for the project is December 2025. Could go longer than that. I think we're thinking possibly even into the spring, but hopefully they can get that open and back into 2 one-ways as soon as possible, because that's gonna be a lot of traffic on Davenport. But we'll work with them as often and as we can. I did get a question before, was from a different, from the Water Corporation, actually. It's asking why we do why do we coordinate with the water and wastewater projects when these streets are like this? The reason is because a lot of our infrastructure is 100 years old, and we don't want to have a brand-new street and then a year later tear it all up because we have water main breaks or sewer breaks. So that's the reason for the coordination. And as a few council members mentioned, we did have our citywide meeting on April 9th. I think we had a pretty good attendance, and of course, as a few mentioned, we had a pretty lively discussion on some of the topics. I will say, though, the most contested items weren't proposed by the city, they were proposed by the Planning Commission. So that is something, and there were a few Planning Commission members there to hear the comments, so that's good. And as Councilman Seals mentioned, the Planning Commission will be meeting tomorrow night. That meeting's at 6 o'clock here in council chambers, in case people do want to learn more about that or want to make comments about the projects. We are planning our next citywide meeting. That's going to be in June. So one of the topics we're thinking of having for the meeting is our water system updates. We want to try to get more input provide an update on all the projects we have going, because there's a lot of questions about the water tower and the project that's in front of the water plant, but we also need to start talking about the future of our treatment system. And, you know, our plant is gonna be 100 years old soon, and what kind of upgrades are needed for there, or what are the next steps. So we wanna get public, start talking about that and get some input from them. The other, we have this construction project here at City Hall. It's coming on a year right now, but hopefully they'll be moving along quite quickly. I think I mentioned at the last meeting, most of the service-facing offices have moved up to the 2nd floor here. So we have Treasury, customer accounting, the clerk's office, and inspections where they take the permits is up here. The 1st floor, as you see, they have it closed off now. They did a lot of work after hours, and I think probably Friday when we were closed, so hopefully that's moving. The 1st floor is projected to take about 6 months, and then after that's completed, these offices will move back to the 1st floor, and then they'll start the 2nd floor. It's pretty comfortable in here tonight, but as you all know, it's not always comfortable in here since we don't have any airflow or HVAC. So we have been looking at potential other locations, and we've pretty much settled on the Anderson Center, primarily because we do want to have it at the same place for all of our council meetings, so people aren't confused. And that location, the room that we'll have that in has about the same capacity as this room, and it has an overflow room as well. And we know it's available on the Mondays for our council meetings. So we're finalizing that. We're looking at starting that on the second meeting in May. So that will be upcoming, and we'll provide more information as that comes. Our other committee meetings that we have in this room, we haven't finalized where those will go yet. We have a couple potential locations, so we're still working on that. Those may not all be at the same location. We'll try to keep each committee meeting at the same location, but there may be a few variable locations with those. We did have Councilman Seals may talk a little bit more about this, but our Riverfront Development Commission, we had our meeting last week, and I think they're taking a good step. They haven't been really active for quite a long time. Years ago, the city allocated, I think they had something like $500,000 or $600,000 in their budget, which was pretty significant. If you can guess what their budget is today, it's zero, so they don't have any funds to spend. That was one of the cuts that you have was first in line. So that's really kind of dampened what they've been doing, but I think they have some people on the committee that really do want to be more active, and they sent an email about wanting to help on some of the riverfront parks, so I think that's really positive. And finally, our police memorial service and awards ceremony is going to be May 6th, so join the Saginaw Police Department as they hold a memorial service to pay tribute to those who have fallen in the line of duty, as well as a ceremony to honor officers who have gone above and beyond. New officers will also be sworn in at the ceremony, and that will be at the Saginaw Police Department on Tuesday, May 6th. It starts at 11 a.m. So everyone's invited to attend that. And I do want to finally, one more comment that I didn't have on here, but I want to thank Councilman Sylvia and Councilman Braddock, too, for coming to that meeting with the chief and his staff and victim services to learn about some of the stuff that we're doing and hear about Birch Park. And then I know they both took an initiative to go to the Birch Park meeting that they were having for residents. I think it was a few days later to learn about that. So I want to thank you for doing that. I think we're setting up another meeting to talk about some more of those issues. So I want to thank those two for helping us put that together. So, Madam Mayor, that concludes the management update.
Do we have any questions for our city manager? Yes, Councilwoman Sylvia.
Thank you so very much. Like I was saying, in my 3 minutes.
2 questions.
Beg your pardon?
You get 2 questions.
I'm gonna make it one long one. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, city manager, what is the likelihood, or where can we send Mr. Denzel, or where can you tap in regards to some of the programming that he's doing, that, because I know right now, the CDBG funds and everything has been exhausted already for this year, and I'll hook him up with the persons that he needs to speak with in regards to, he does have his 501c3 as far as, tapping into those funds for next year. But some of the youth organizations, that I talked about, is there a way that you could maybe speak to some of those organizations, because of the programming that he's doing, it's got to be specific to some of, what they're doing. But what he's doing is working with youth. So, I can see how that could probably work with any of them, and I can't remember the ages, but I know that makes a difference too. Is there a way that you could, maybe send a letter out, maybe an email out, because I'm sure he could probably, take the program, so many weeks or whatever,
Yeah, I think we could help with introductions. Most of the youth, or a big part of the youth for our ARPA was with capital. So I think the benefit of that was they have the space available now to help with having the classes there. I don't know if it fits with their funding with that other project, or if that's something that's allowable because they do have their budgets approved. But I'm sure some of them might be willing to work with him, so if he contacts our office, we can try to do some introductions, and then, there are, other private sources I think you could look at for potential grant funding, like the Community Foundation or United Way or things like that.
So when you say contact office, city call you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Call us manager's office.
Okay, thank you.
Is that your long question?
Yes, thank you.
We have Councilwoman Hannah.
Thank you.
Hammond, I'm sorry.
When we move to the Anderson Enrichment Center, we will still have the SGTV broadcasting, correct?
No, we won't be able to broadcast from there because our channel is right here behind this wall. That's our broadcasting capabilities, and we can't move all of that. So we're going to still broadcast on YouTube.
Okay, thank
So we'll
you.
have the streaming, but not the TV, and then, of course, we'll have the streaming, and then we'll still post the YouTube video so people can watch it later.
Sounds great, thank you.
Yes, Council. Wait, let me check this in. Okay. Yes, Councilman Ostash.
Thanks, Mayor. Tim, you were talking about some of the road construction that we're doing over on State and Davenport, and we're gonna make the one-ways into two-ways. I kinda missed it. Is that starting right at Court Street and then into the city? Because I know that Davenport over there is really bad, too, so I figured that was gonna be part of the fixing.
The road is.
It starts on, it's also, we're not doing the street work, it's MDOT.
MDOT's doing it,
So no one
okay.
should be mad at the city.
I figured it was somebody different, because all the trees had numbers on them.
Yes, it's,
We don't do that.
Avalon?
Avalon to Bay, just State Street, not Davenport.
Yeah, just-
Okay. All right, because if you're coming into the city on State Street, right after Court Street, it's pretty bad.
Yes.
I didn't say nothing
Yeah.
yet, but I didn't know, but we'll have to maybe address that.
Yeah.
Bill's shaking his head. He's like, I got you, Councilman.
Really bad.
Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Sylvia.
Thank you so much. What I wanted to know, we've got information in regards to the on-street parking, off-street parking, parking in general. I've gotten questions, I know other council persons have gotten questions. What's the feasibility of maybe doing like a town hall or something where people just come in, ask the question, get the answers? I know I had a meeting with you guys last year in regards to that. I gleaned a lot of information, and it wasn't overwhelming, but it would be overwhelming to just repeat all that information that I got. I understand, and I have a very good idea of, what can happen, what can't happen, but for me to repeat all that, not gonna happen. But what would be, could we possibly look at doing something like a town hall meeting and say, hey, come on, let's get this information. This is what you can do. This is what you cannot do. Here's some exceptions. Here what you can bring to city council, et cetera.
Yeah,
Let's
we can-
maybe,
We could put that up on our follow-up list.
Okay.
And I'm sure we can get the engineering department, the streets department, to put something together.
okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Real quick. Yes, Councilman Ostash.
Yep, just one more question for the manager. So you were talking about some of the infrastructure upgrades that we're gonna do and upgrade, and some updates you're gonna be giving us. And one that have had on my list is the sewer line, the redundant sewer line that we're gonna put in the river down by Johnson Street with the American Rescue Plan money. Are we moving on that? Do we have any designs? I haven't heard nothing from engineering. I've heard a lot of other updates that we're doing. Phil's shaking his head.
Yeah,
Okay.
we applied for
Not yet.
funding from the state for that, and we were turned down.
Okay,
So I think the project came out, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
okay.
What, ARPA's money?
Wasn't, okay.
So we did apply for state revolving funds for that
Okay.
project.
Wasn't
That
American
got
Rescue
shot
Plan.
down. I believe that was the 24 ask.
Yeah.
The FY 24 ask. And in evaluating points that we're gonna score in need,
Right.
we need one, but not at the price tag that it's at right now. So the projects we're looking at, again, is to set us up for the future. At some point, are we gonna put a redundant line in? Yes. When that someday is, I don't know yet.
All right, and I'll correct myself too, because I thought it was ARPA money, but it was not. So
No, it's
we're
state
just-
revolving.
We're just trying to
Applied
get state
for.
revolving funds too, because it is an important project. 'Cause
Almost
we only have
certainly.
one line and it's old, so people do,
It's in good shape. That
Yeah.
was the one thing that reassured me anyway, because that one doesn't keep me up at night, because we have
Yeah.
had the cameras in there. We've looked at it. You'll probably see us looking at an interim step of, cleaning it, lining that line, which restores the structural integrity of the line through
okay.
a bunch of stuff I don't understand, but it works really well. How's
Okay.
that? So,
All right, so every once in a while, I'll just ask. Okay, thanks.
While he's here, I got a question.
Yes.
The new water tower,
Yes, sir.
what is that? I never seen a water tower with that base on it like a rocket ship finna take off.
So what they're doing is the center column is now built.
Yes.
Right? Right now, they're welding the steel plates together. That's all pre-built down in, I believe, Alabama. They ship it up here, they're welding that all together. They will weld it all together on the ground, like it is right now.
Okay.
Paint it, and then hoist the whole thing up to the top of the tower. This again goes on the list of things that I don't understand. That's what we pay the smart people that build tanks and the engineers for.
Okay.
But that's what's going on right there.
All right, that was one, I never, I'm like, what's going on here?
Oh, it's a thing, I'll give you that.
Okay, so that's part of the thing.
That's the bowl that will actually
Okay,
hold the
Okay, so
water.
there's gonna be a big ball on the top.
Yep.
What type of plate steel is that?
Pardon?
What kind of steel is that? I mean, how thick is it?
Oh, goodness, it's thicker on the bottom than it is on the top, and I wanna say like 1.7 inches on the bottom.
Okay.
So it's beefy, but that's 24 million gallons, or excuse me, 24 million pounds of water up in the air, so.
All right, thank you so much. Now I can tell people to keep asking me.
Yep.
Telling me so they don't get wet. Any other questions? Thank you so much, staff and city manager. Madam Clerk.
What's the consent agenda?
The agenda has been available at City Hall and on our city webpage and on SGTV Channel 191. I need a motion to approve, leaving room for exceptions.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Do we have any exceptions? Yes.
Exception on number 9 and number 10.
9 and 10, any other exceptions? No other exceptions. Madam Clerk.
Item number 9 is to approve the third amendment to the security detail agreement with Birch Park Preservation 2 Limited Dividend Housing Association LLC to install license plate readers for the police department. That was Councilmember Hammond.
Councilwoman Hammond.
I have a motion to postpone, item number 9.
Second.
It's been moved. But wait, can we do that now? Okay. So we've got a motion. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. Y'all got to say something when I ask, do you have a second? I can't see y'all down the table. Okay, so we've got to move in a second. Councilwoman, any discussion on that motion? And you know what the motion was for, right? Yes,
When are we postponing it till?
to the next meeting.
Till next meeting? And I just want to know like the reason for postponement.
So I asked to see the full agreement, and I wasn't furnished that agreement, so I can't vote on it if I haven't read the entire agreement, which wasn't also included in the packet. So,
Let me say this. Council, I need all of us to understand, our job is not to be looking at no contracts and to be doing all of that. That is part of the city manager's role. We just had a workshop on this. And so when we go to asking about bills and all of these different agendas, that takes up a whole lot of time, and we killing a whole lot of trees doing it. So I just need for all of us to understand. I'm not saying that you can't ask questions. I want everybody to ask questions. But that's right. because normally you have to FOIA these things. Because they're not a part of what we should be doing. We should just be answering questions that are presented in front of us, not digging up more work. You hold tight. Councilwoman Sylvia.
Is that correct? Because that seemed like I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask to know or get an understanding of what's going on. Can somebody help me, please?
I didn't say that you couldn't ask.
But I'm just saying, it seemed like if I wanted to know or have it expound upon, and I wanted to see or read over that agreement, it shouldn't, that seemed like, that's what I'm doing. The city voted me in, had the second highest votes in the city when I was elected to city council, and I think that that's what I would be doing, my job. Can somebody tell me if that is correct or not? I just want to know for future reference.
I believe the thought is because a citizen would have to FOIA a contract, so even though you're city council, we can't give you preferential treatment over something that we wouldn't furnish just a citizen in the regular course of business.
So how will we get more information in regards to that particular?
You could do a FOIA request with the manager's office.
Or like information probably from the city manager or the head department.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
She said it would go to the appropriate department to answer the FOIA request.
So is that why she didn't get the information back?
I responded to her,
Okay.
yes. Council approves the expenditures. If you have questions about the services, surely you can ask for that, ask any question you want about the services. There was no specific question asked.
Okay.
And, I mean, it's, to me, almost all the purchases have contracts. And if you can't vote on anything without reading every contract, how are you gonna
Okay, gotcha.
go through the agenda?
Councilman Ostash.
I think that two of them kind of go together because she's accepted 9 and 10. And the concerns I heard was the amount of data that can be collected from the machine. What's interesting too is I'm actually looking at an email that was sent to me here during probably just prior to the meeting, which is from actually the president of Saginaw CAP. And it's the same concern, which are we just going to collect the data and then it's erased? Because once the license plate is read, it can read and see if it hits a hot list and then it's deleted. Or this particular company, Flock, the concern is that data going to be harvested and put into a data warehouse where others would have access to it? So I guess that's the question. I'm going to ask the question, what are we going to do with the data? Because that is the concern.
Can I ask you something, Councilman? Yep. Are you talking about 10 now?
Actually, they kind of go together because you're asking for cameras for Birch Park.
You're asking about
And then
9.
the cameras are in section 10.
9 is the contract with.
Okay, so we'll stop at 9.
9 is a contract.
I'll address that on the next one.
With Birch Park, which is some of the information that was presented to Councilman,
Okay.
Councilman
Yes,
Moore,
okay,
so
yep, thanks for
But
clarification.
it would be, it's Flock equipment, so,
Right.
you know, if we have specific questions about the data, the customer owns the data.
Right.
So it's, as between Flock and the customer, all right, title, and interest in customer data belong to and are retained solely by the customer.
Okay.
Customer hereby grants to Flock a limited, non-exclusive, royalty fee-free, irrevocable worldwide license to use customer data and perform all acts as may be necessary for Flock to provide the Flock services to the customer. We are the customer. So if they, according to the contract that we have, if they keep data, they have to anonymize it, which they, in the contract it stated they would use for training or different things like that. And that is a 30-day, it's 30 days that the data is retained. Is that 30 days. What you understand, Chief?
Yes, it's very close.
Okay. 30 days.
Councilwoman Hammond.
Thank you.
Hammond, I'm sorry.
And yes, it is unfortunate because these things kind of go together. And I would gladly support both of these. However, you're reading off the contract, I would just like to read the contract myself, because I do have concerns. There is a federal lawsuit right now against this company, Flock Group, Inc., for violating Fourth Amendment rights with this exact kind of system aggregated data. It's out there, it was just proceeding, so I have concerns about it. And there's some, there's really great literature about ways to curb the concerns, but they have to be put in the contract. So that's, the impetus for my asking about both of these. And they do go together, so I wanted to save some of that commentary for the next line item, but that is why I wanted to postpone to give time to review both of those, both the agreement and the contract.
Councilman Balls, I'm gonna get you,
The
Councilwoman
agreement is,
Sylvia.
the agreement's already been entered. We have flock equipment now.
Right now.
So this isn't a new contract.
This is an addition to.
An additional purchase, right? This contract council
I'll be right
approved
back.
back in
Yes, I'm looking at that.
2024.
Councilman Balls.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that, what he just said. We already got a contract with them. They're just gonna do some other stuff, and the Birch Park gonna be paying for the cameras and stuff like that. And for the amount of people that's getting killed out there, we need all the security as we can get out there in that area. It almost seemed like, everybody know that guns killed, but don't nobody wanna get rid of guns. Here we got an opportunity to save some lives in the Birch Park community. We can stop people from entering that place who don't live there. Because I think of what's happening is a lot of people come there to deal their drugs and stuff like that. And people come there to buy and stuff like that, buying and selling. Matter of fact, I know that's what's happening out there. I know for a fact. And if we don't stop those people from coming in, we're gonna keep on having the same things that's happening. And I'm sick and tired of people dying out there, young people dying out there. The last guy that died out there, I mentored that kid. He was a hard worker, and he had some friends that he hang around with, and they were just bad company. So that's my comments on that. I'm going to vote against this. I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen fast.
Yes, Councilman Brown.
I'd just like to say, I didn't mention it earlier, but we did go into Birch Park, and there's a lot of good going on. Mr. Freddie Johnson, if I'm not mistaken his last name, Freddie Johnson, yeah, Mr. Freddie, there's the youth out there, some kids out there. When we was at the meeting, there was a lot of young babies, a lot of youth different ages, and they don't deserve to live out there and experience the things that's going on that's out there. And I think we have to really look at, like Michael Ball said, echoing what he's saying, what happened in the past. And I think I don't know if city manager or the police chief can explain pretty much, I think, the position of the, we kind of group in 9 and 10, but just thinking the purpose, I think we talked about it, but just pretty much, let the public know what the purpose of, what the plan and strategy is for having those, that technology at the gate. Specifically at the gate. It's positioned, it's positioned a certain way, and so people are concerned about their civil liberties being violated, but the technology and everything that is being used is right there at the entrance of the gate, and it's just to deter the criminals or the violence that goes on out there. So I'm with Michael Balls on this. I believe that we have to provide some type of intervention somewhere. And, and when things happen in this community, it is tough to prove it if people don't tell what happened. So we have to rely on surveillance. We have to have some type of presence out there, some type of law enforcement presence. So Birch Park is putting forth the effort, and the people that's working out there, that live in our city, that's part of our community, that's working out there, putting forth the efforts, we have to help strengthen what they're trying to do out there.
Councilwoman Sylvia.
Thank you so much. This is more of a statement than a question. And the young people, and I call people young, 100 and under, the young people there spoke about the license plate reader, and they didn't understand. But once it was understood, then it was better understood about that. But you got to do something. I don't agree with everything. I do agree with some things. At the end of the day, I'm gonna have to agree with it being there, but we wanna make sure we don't violate anyone's rights, et cetera. But for the most part, I don't like what had been happening out at Birch Park, and I'm more against that than something else. And it's not just reading what's come up in there, because, well, you all know a lot about crime, just like I do, and I've worked with you for over 30-something years. You ain't gotta come right up in Birch Park to do whatever you gotta do. A lot of people park their cars and come across the fence, up under the fence, around the fence, and, so they gonna see you, Let's just put it like that, they gonna see you, so, yeah, they want it, people wanna live peacefully. They have lived out, some people have lived out there for years, a lot of people have left. People are trying to raise their families out there, and they want to live peacefully. And they don't want you coming there doing what you do, and then going home to wherever you go, and then they have to suffer with the consequences of what you have left them with for that day, that week, that month. So, we have to make tough decisions, and that's why we up here, to make those tough decisions.
Okay. Councilman Ostash.
Yeah, just a real quick statement, then we can get to Councilwoman Seals. It was kind of mentioned already, the date is going to be cut for 30 days and then it's erased. So it's not like it's there in perpetuity. Also, too, the lawsuit that was mentioned against the company hasn't been resolved. I mean, the court case has not been decided. But the other thing, too, is that you pick up this and you download an app, you're giving up sometimes your civil liberties. It's in you don't always agree it, you just hit, I agree. And you download the apps onto your phone. I mean, you're tracked by an IP address. They basically know where you're going 24/7 if they know who you are and they know your phone. So I understand the concerns, but I'm also going to concur with my three colleagues who have also spoken in favor.
My turn?
Councilman, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, I just want to make a statement regarding the 9 and 10 line item. For the FLAC agreement, that's why we do have a lawyer to give us our best interest of what decision we made. That's what we have her here for. If it wasn't a great deal of what we needed to do to keep this program up and running and the citizens to be safe, we wouldn't be having to question this if we did what we're supposed to. And another thing, who did you say that thing came from, the email? Because I must have not got it, because I must have left home already. I didn't bring my iPad, but you said the cap.
I thought it went to the whole council.
It might have, but
It came from the president. Okay.
And who's the president?
Jeffrey Bowles.
Okay, and then the cap, is that the part of Carly's on as well?
Nope.
That they talked about, so
Nope.
kind of.
Yeah, I need to get your information
Let's stick on the
correct.
motion.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just curious. No, I'm just saying for the concerns. Okay. All right, that's all I have to say about
So
that.
just, and to clarify once more, number 9 is the contract amendment with Birch Park to pay
Right.
for the.
Nothing to do with nobody but
Okay.
Birch Park.
Okay,
This is a third amendment, they pay for other services.
all right, thank you for clearing that up.
Councilwoman Seals.
Yes, I would like to talk to the attorney. I'm interested in understanding, is there a possible violation of the Fourth Amendment with the use of the surveillance of the license plates and the lawsuit that they're going through, this company is going through? Is that a legitimate, case against them?
The
And
case that was referenced isn't within a court that has any jurisdiction over the state of Michigan. So doing a case search for courts that do have jurisdiction in the state of Michigan, I didn't find any pending or resolved cases that have raised that concern. I believe that case was out of a district court in Virginia.
So in your legal, then, opinion, do you think that it violates the Fourth Amendment?
These are in public places.
Do we have any more questions or concerns? I'll call for the vote. And the motion is, again, can you read it? I'm sorry.
It's to postpone the Third Amendment to the security detail agreement with Birch Park. Do you want me to read the whole thing, or is that good?
Yeah, that's good. So this first one we're voting on is postponing,
Number 9.
right? Okay. And it will be postponed to the next meeting if it passes. I'm calling for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Nay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sylvia?
No.
Councilmember Seals?
Aye.
You said aye.
A, yes,
Nay.
yes.
Councilmember Balls?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
No.
Councilmember Ostache?
Nay.
Councilmember Braddock?
Nay.
Councilmember Wiggins?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond?
Aye.
And Mayor Moore?
Nay.
You have 3 yes and 6 no. That motion is denied. So now you're still on item number 9, but you need a motion to.
Right, I need a motion to accept.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved in second.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Me.
Thank you.
Do we have any more discussion on it? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Item number 10 is to approve the purchase with Flat Group Incorporated for $152,950 with installment payments set at $35,350 for fiscal year 2025 and pending budget approval, $29,400 annually for fiscal year 2026 through fiscal year 2029 for a flock safety intersection surveillance system for the police department. That was Councilmember Hammond.
I do have a question on procedurally when we talk about approving a purchase versus pending budget approval, because obviously our budget process for the upcoming year is set to, we're doing that process right now. So when we talk about approving a purchase now and then pending approval, are we saying that we're approving a current purchase and then we're also approving a future purpose annually, or setting ourselves up to approve an annual purchase?
Approving the payments, because I think there's an annual payment with this, is that correct, Chief?
Yes, for 5 years.
Yes, so that would be the annual payments. So you have, this is the purchase up front, and then you have the payments on the licensing and equipment.
And when did the city of Saginaw first enter into contract with Flock Safety, or Flock Group Incorporated?
April. I think it was April of '24.
And-
Close.
And was that due to I think there was a state grant paid for some surveillance cameras, is that correct? Am I misremembering?
That was on a federal grant.
Federal grant.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'm going to motion to postpone item number 10.
There's a motion on the floor to postpone. I need a second. There's a motion on the floor to postpone. I need a second. Last and final time. There's a motion on the floor and I need a second. It's down. There was a question on this end.
We still need a motion to approve, though. Allow
Motion to
discussion.
approve. Motion to approve consent agenda, item number 10.
Support.
Councilwoman Sylvia, you had a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the monies that we approved for cameras a few years back. Does this, are these dollars any kind of way intertwined with those? Not last year, but a few years back, like Jibway and, some of the other cameras?
All different types of programs. We started this back in about 2019 with a federal grant from the Department of Justice. We've had several other grants through that process to put in other cameras.
Okay.
Some of our cameras are owned by the DDA that are out there.
Just different dollars?
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Yes.
I'm sorry, do we have a motion on the floor? Okay, sorry. But my question was, or rather, my statement was, I support having these, even license plate readers and being able to pull them. I don't necessarily support everything that's in the contract. I have some concerns. I would like to review the contract, which is why I asked about it. And I think it's very concerning that I was denied my request to view the contract. I think that this is something that a lot of other communities do. City of Bay City has all of their contracts in their agenda that pertain to all of their consent agenda items. So I think that is part of our jobs as city council, and I do have a lot of concerns about this particular agreement, and I haven't been able to read it, so I will be voting no on this. And again, I support, point of order, we can't have sidebars. So, anyway, I support, having surveillance cameras, particularly in this area, but I don't support setting a precedent of just not looking at contracts before we vote on them. So, I guess did we look at, was it just because we were working with this company before? Are there other companies we could have gone with? Was there a bid process for other license plate vendors? I'm not clear on that either.
They gotta answer that one.
Okay.
They gotta answer that.
There are other companies. We've researched all those companies. In 2019, we went with Motorola for the cameras then. And there are cameras in the city. They were provided by that company. We still work with them at this point in time. Flock, we went with them last year because we felt that it's a better company. And it is much better for us as a city, and it keeps our people safer, the way I look at it, from our research that we've done on that. So we put a lot of research into it. We started with Flock last year, and this is just a continuation. And it's actually of the same grant that we utilized last year.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Any other questions? It's been moved in second. We're calling for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
No.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Yes.
Councilmember Seals.
Yes.
Councilmember Balls.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Yes.
Councilmember Ostash.
Yes.
Councilmember Braddock.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Nay.
And Mayor Moore.
Yes.
You have 8 yeses and 1 no. That motion is approved.
Madam Clerk?
That takes us to board, commission, and committee reports.
Do we have anyone who needs to report from a city meeting that they have attended in the last couple of weeks? Yes, Councilwoman Seals.
Like the city manager said, I went to the Riverfront Development Commission, and as he said, they do not have any funds, but their commission is to support the city council in Riverfront Development, of course. So they realized through the leadership of the city manager, because he actually was there at the meeting, that they can support Ojibwe initiative. So they decided and voted upon that evening that our group would take on the Ojibwe Island Initiative and support the Saginaw City Council's committee, the Ojibwe Committee, in that project. That'll be our special project for the Riverfront Development. So that was just determined at our last commission meeting, and we'll hear more about that.
Anyone else? Yes. Yes.
You can go first.
One side to the other. Yes.
Okay. Councilwoman Seals, thanks for bringing that up. So 2 things. Tomorrow, like the manager said, the Planning Commission is meeting here in council chambers, talk more about the zoning of the city. But also we did receive that email of support from your chair. And so a couple of us have responded. We look forward to working with you on that. So more to come. Yeah, more to come.
Yes.
Okay, my turn. I just wanted to say I'm the vice president of the East Side Soup Kitchen, and last Friday, me and Mayor Moore got to go on TV5 and get donations for the East Side Soup Kitchen, and we had a lot of people come in. We did our Easter celebration today, and we got a lot of donations came in to supply the food for today. and a lot of monetary donations, and they're always accepting donations and volunteers. And I suggested next time we go on that Mayor Moore goes on sooner so that we can get more donations in quicker. And thanks to my old right-hand man, Bill Ostash, for supporting the Eastside Soup Kitchen. I called him, he was at the grocery store, and he donated, so I thank you for taking time. And Mayor Moore, we did really good, so I was excited. I got to hear the numbers today. So just keep up the good work, Saginaw. We've got some great programs, and they're being utilized, so thank you.
Any other? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
On to resolutions. Our first is adopting the 2021 Michigan Building Code, 2021 Michigan Rehab Code, and 2021 Michigan Commercial Energy Code.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry. So it's been moved and approved. Do we have any questions? This is a motion to adopt, I'm sorry. No questions, we're gonna call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second resolution is approving the MDOT cost agreement 25-5208 for the reconstruction of South Wheeler Street from Michigan Avenue to Gratiot Road, M46.
I can make a motion to
I need a motion to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Balls, I know he made the motion. Who seconded?
Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to unfinished business. Our first resolution there is approving the Community Development Block Grant Program Submission Program for year 2025-2026.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any discussions? Hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second resolution is approving the Home Program Submission Program for year 2025-2026.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our third resolution is approving the Homeless Assistance Program Emergency Solutions Grant Submission Program for year 2025-2026.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk,
Takes you to miscellaneous business.
do we have any motions that are on the floor? Any motions?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed. Good evening, everyone.